This is Eagle Owl, and today I'll be talking about special teams and why the Eagles seem like they don't take it serious. And also, AJ Brown looked like he got faster, man. But let's get straight into it. All right, so let's just get into this first. Let's talk about Hassan Reddick just a little bit. You see the numbers, it's insane. So I didn't talk about this in my last video. Hassan Reddick is like the 17th highest paid defensive end, and Nick Bosa is the first. Hassan Reddick gets 17 million a year, and Nick Bosa get 34 million dollars a year. And Hassan Reddick was the second best sack leader behind Nick Bosa, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna tell you the things that can happen. I don't want to talk about this because I want to talk about the controllables and how Hassan Reddick is with the Eagles and he's not holding out. But what can happen is that Howie Roseman decided to pay Hassan Reddick, and we tried to work something out with Devontae Smith because it's going to come down between, do you keep Hassan Reddick, an awesome defensive edge guy, or it's going to come down to Smitty, or one of those dudes going to have to compromise, or somebody going to have to get paid less or less guarantees that don't hit against the cap. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but man, I really don't want to talk about this. But I guess the second thing is that this is Hassan Reddick last year. And what's going to happen is that we're going to rely on Nolan Smith to really take that Hassan Reddick place and be that dominant edge rusher. Maybe we get another edge rusher after draft. Maybe sign a vet to keep our defensive line loaded. We'll see how it go. But I don't really, again, I really don't want to go into detail about that until like March when contracts and stuff are up. So let's get into the Aaron Sipples and AJ Brown news, right? So Aaron Sipples, man, I just don't get it. Why Sipples? Why? And he's one of those guys that's sticking around the roster, like him and like Britton Covey. And I figured it out with Britton Covey. Britton Covey, he's consistent. He's going to at least give you 15 to 20 yards per kick return. And he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to take some big hits, but he's not going to turn the ball over. And he's very durable. If I remember, I don't think Britton Covey really missed a game, if I'm not mistaken. So he gives you that. He's really safe and he gives you a couple yards. But I'm like, why Aaron Sipples? He is a super average punter or below average punter at best. What I think they bringing in these punters to do, it's not only challenge each other during punts, but I think they challenging each other who can place hold the best. And one thing Jake Elliott loves about Aaron Sipples is that the way he holds the ball for kick return, I mean field goals, he loves it. You got to think about it. About 3 years ago, we was ready to get rid of Jake Elliott at one point, but then when we got Aaron Sipples, Jake Elliott field goals look better. So what made me bring this up is that Aaron Sipples is holding for Jake Elliott as the punters as the punter is currently on the practice squad and will likely be called up to the active roster before Sunday. So I start thinking like maybe the Eagles, because we are looking at it like we're barely going to punt. So why have a extremely great punter overpay him? Whereas though we could keep Aaron Sipples, who's an average punter, and we barely gonna punt the ball, and then we have a great placeholder for Jake Elliott. Remember, Ty Zentner was terrible with holding the ball for field goals. That's why I believe Jake Elliott during the preseason missed one field goal because Ty Zentner was so bad at holding the ball. Whereas though Aaron Sipples is great at that. So I believe they would take an average punter at best over a great punter and a bad holder. So they'll take a bad punter and a great holder over a great punter and a bad holder, if that makes sense. So that's why I think it is, because Aaron Sipples is the one I just can't wrap my mind around. Like, why the Eagles are keeping him around. They brought in Brandon Mann. I'm pretty sure he's a better punter than Aaron Sipples, but I think it's the holding the field goals for Jake Elliott, which is very important because field goals is 3 points and 1 point. It's points on the board. So I guess they're like, look, we'll take our 40, 30-yard punts from time to time, but Jake Elliott gonna nail some field goals. So that's the only reason I could see why we keeping him around. Also, I seen that we had Boston Scott and what's his name, Rashad Penny, returning kicks and punt returns as the returners. I like it. I always favorite running backs as returners over like receivers from time to time. Like I best, well, he's probably a legend, but I best kick returner who was a wide receiver was Deshaun Jackson. But the rest of like our kick returners, the ones that really been good was like running backs, like when we had Brian Westbrook return from time to time, or even a Darren Sproles return from time to time. And you got to think, even when we brought Boston Scott to do kick returns, he was way better than Brenton Covey during kick returns. And then we just let Brenton Covey just do strictly punt returns. So I always like the idea of running backs. It's probably some stat out there that running backs are better. It's the best position to do kick returns. I'm pretty sure there's a stat out there about that, but I can't 100% guarantee it. But again, man, I like the idea of Rashad Penny and Boston Scott doing it over Brenton Covey. But again, I still think Brenton Covey is going to get called up to at least do punt returns. I'll be surprised because you can call up two guys from the practice squad to your active roster. So I see Brenton Covey or even Devin Allen and Aaron Sipples, in my opinion. Again, the special teams, man, is just a total mess. But let's get into my guy, AJ Brown. AJ Brown. Look at this picture of AJ Brown. Don't he look like he like Devontae Smith size? Man, AJ Brown look more lean. He look a tad bit more smaller, which is fine. That mean that he probably could get in and out of his routes better. Also mean that he got a lot faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. I believe this was Moore who said like, "Yo, you got a little faster," and then AJ Brown was like a little bit after he cooked this cornerback twice. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip.
Caught it.
Same thing, you know what I'm saying? Same thing, go, go.
He saw you.
What's up? What's wrong? Don't cry, Mom. Here you go.
All right, you see, and shout out to AJ Brown's daughter. That was lovely what he did for his daughter, giving her the football after he cooked the man. And yeah, man, AJ Brown, man, I expect a big year out of him. He's gonna do big things, and I can't wait to see him on the field. The new lean AJ Brown. He like in pads and stuff, he still looked big, but he looked more lean. I'm not gonna lie, but I think he said I think they had like the mics and stuff on the Eagles page. If you want to check that out, it was him and Devontae Smith. And even LaShawn McCoy's like, yo, you look good, man. How much you weigh? He like, nah, I'm still like 225, 227. He like, yo, man, you look good. Like you lost a little weight. So you probably getting a faster AJ Brown, whose strength is still probably through the roof. Devontae Smith looking like, man, a modern day Marvin Harrison. I'm not gonna lie. Hate comparing current guys to legends, but man, he looking like a more and more modern day Marvin Harrison. Dallas Goddard is just gonna come back stronger. Running back room look a lot better than last year. So I just can't wait, man. Sunday will be our first game. Tomorrow we get some football. You know, hopefully. Well, I'm shooting this tonight, so I'm talking about Thursday today. So today we will get some football later today. So I really can't wait. I can't wait to watch us play Sunday. I can't even just wait to watch some football. See what Detroit, because Detroit it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be us versus Detroit to get into the Super Bowl, which sound crazy. But if I had to guess right now, fully healthy, I could see us versus Detroit. So I want to see what they got. I want to see Jamar Gibbs and those dudes. I want to see what the Chiefs got, man, because we played them this year. So it's going to be like more of an observation to see, who the Eagles opponents, man, because I see that rematch in the Super Bowl, and then I see that NFC Championship game, Lions and Eagles. So, and maybe I could be wrong. Maybe both teams look terrible. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about little news today? I know I want very in depth about the special teams because special teams, man, offense and defense, it's nice. Special teams, we just don't take it serious, man. I have no idea why. But I'm just coming up with theories on why certain guys are sticking around. See what we're trying to do. Again, I like the little shakeups we're trying to do, but again, it seems like we don't take it too serious. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm up.